the Wrestling Championship belt. A symbol of excellence, an ode to the grand traditions of the industry's past, one of the most important parts of this great thing that we all love. Okay, let's be honest, they're mostly a way for companies to sell expensive replicas. The reason why sweaty weirdos like you love to spend obscene amounts of money on fake belts is because some of them are absolutely gorgeous. But of the many different title belts that have existed throughout history, which are so stunning that they would put WCW Steve Austin to shame? Before we start, we realise that this is going to be an incredibly controversial list as it's so ruddy-bloody subjective, so a few honourable mentions first. The NXT North American title, the WWF Attitude Era title, the IWGP Intercontinental Championship title from 2012 to 2021, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, the OG TNA World title, the NWA World's Heavyweight title, the 90s WWF Tag Team titles, and the Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods Championship, because bloody look at it! On with the list. I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic Wrestling, and these are the 10 greatest wrestling belt designs. Join us! Number 10, the NXT Men's and Women's Championship from 2017 to 2022. The original version of the Men's NXT Championship was a nice idea in principle. The letters of the brand were perfect for the design of a belt, with the large golden X serving as the title's main plate. But is it just me, or did it always look a bit dirty? Like it could have permanently used a spot of polish? Am I going mad? As for the original women's title, it was fine, but just a bit unimposing. Like it was really small and still had tints of pink on it, which just allowed for comparisons to the god-awful Divas Championship. I still have nightmares about that oversized Claire's accessories purchase. Then came 2017's NXT TakeOver Orlando, where everything changed. As unveiled by champions Bobby Roode and Asuka, the new designs of the men's and women's championships were much better. They were more compact and contained, the X of NXT now housed within a traditional front plate. Put simply, they just looked a bit classier, but perhaps that's because they weren't covered in dirt anymore. Seriously, am I the only one who noticed that? Please, somebody else tell me they saw it. Number 9, the MLW World Tag Team Championships from 2018 to present. Being the dirty wrestling hipsters that we are, we wanted to include at least one less prominent promotion in their championship in this list. I know, aren't we nice? As a result, feast your eyes upon these beauts from Major League Wrestling. MLW was first founded in 2002 by ex-WWE writer Court Bauer. However, the company would fold after just 2 years, leaving its wrestlers, storylines, and championships up in the air. After a long hiatus, the company made its grand return in 2017. The following year, it reintroduced its tag team titles after the Lucha Bros won a triple threat ladder match to become the new champs. The titles would go on to be held by the Hart Foundation, the Von Erichs, and some other teams that weren't reboots from the 80s. Big and bold, with an ornate wreath design running around the outside, the centerpiece is the huge silver globe that sits directly in the middle. With the striking MLW logo slap bang in the center, these belts are grand and dynamic, which is impressive for a title with such a relatively short lineage. Number 8, the Ring of Honor World Championship from 2012 to 2017. The current version of the Ring of Honor World Championship is loosely based on the very first design of the belt, with a few new bells and whistles. This is a shame because that design definitely isn't the best ROH has had. I guess it just looks a bit outdated, like a relic from a bygone era. It's squashed, the lettering is ugly and overbearing, and it just doesn't feel like the top prize of a company as big as ROH. Then came the second and third versions, which was somehow even worse. Version 2 looks like it was made for about $5, and version 3 looks like it shrunk in the wash. Then, thankfully, came design number 4. First appearing in 2012, this iteration of the gold finally felt good enough to carry the history of the championship. For starters, it was actually gold-colored rather than the bafflingly silver-colored plate that it would eventually be replaced with. Gold is better than silver, guys, everyone knows that. Yes, the ROH logo in the middle is a little squeezed, but there's just something appealing about this design. It is beautiful, it is regal, and most importantly, unfortunately, it's not any of the others. Number 7, the NWA World Television Championship from 2019 to present. If you were to travel back in time to the moment just before the Big Bang, you would find vast swathes of emptiness and the original NWA booking committee discussing whether or not George Hackenschmidt should go over in Missouri. The point I'm trying to make is that the National Wrestling Alliance is old as balls. When Billy Corgan reshuffled the NWA, he brought back their World Television Championship. Unfortunately, because a certain tyrant in Connecticut owned the older versions of the belt, this new one would have to start its history all over again. Influenced by the old Georgia and Mid-Atlantic models of the title, the new belt captured all the honor and weight of its predecessors while somehow feeling unique. It just felt timeless, an homage to the past, and it looked even better once it was around the waist of inaugural champion Ricky Starks. Although, to be honest, that man could walk out wearing a telephone cord and it would still look prestigious. Number 6, the NXT United Kingdom Championship. At the tail end of 2016, WWE announced out of nowhere that they would be hosting a tournament to crown their first ever United Kingdom champion. 16 of Britain's finest grapplers would compete over 2 nights to become the first holder of the new belt, and what a belt it was! It's amazing just how much people love this design, considering all WWE did was pop out the center part of their existing WWE Championship and put the UK coat of arms in the middle instead. Old people will remember that this design used to be on the back of pound coins here in the UK. Do they still use it on the new ones? It's been a while since I had any money. Anyway, just look how nice this design is. Look at that crown! Look at the lion! Look at that horse! Fun fact, in the actual coat of arms, it's a unicorn. Why did you deny us a unicorn championship, WWE? Come on, New Day, help us out. Mythical creature or not, this is absolutely stunning and showed just how much time and effort WWE had put into the creation of the title. If only they'd shown that much care with the actual UK division, eh? Number 5, the WWE Intercontinental Championship from 1986 to 1998. The Intercontinental title belt design has changed considerably over the years, from that ramshackle thing Pat Patterson won in that totally real tournament that definitely happened in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to the black and gold beauty that Gunther currently carries around. There are many iterations in between, but the best is what is often referred to as the classic Intercontinental Championship belt. You know, the one that was held by a litany of Hall of Famers: Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, Ultimate Warrior, Rick Rude, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, and more still, back when the IC strap was very much the secondary title and considered a stepping stone to the main prize. It's nothing too terribly flashy, but it looks like a proper piece of kit, primarily gold with a globe in the center and augmented by stars, with side plates depicting a little bit of grappling and showcasing the WWE logo. It's been backed by leathers of various colors, including black, white, gold for gold dust, and whatever shade Warrior wanted to match his tassels that week. It is called the classic design for a reason, with WWE agreeing and resurrecting it for a time in the 2010s. Number 4, the AEW World Championship. Remember when British comedian Jack Whitehall was in AEW? He introduced Bret Hart for the championship unveiling segment at the original Double or Nothing. Why was he there? Anyway, mysterious posh boys to one side, the championship that the Hitman did eventually introduce was an absolute treat for the eyes. First of all, this thing is chunky, thick with all the C's. The plates absolutely pop off the strap, sticking out so far you could take an eye out if you got too close. When Jericho used to hit people with it when he was champion, it sounded like he just struck someone with a spade. Despite its considerable heft, it somehow manages to be sleek and elegant at the same time. The elongated center portion doesn't distract like many other similar designs, instead giving the belt a unique look while embodying so many classic belts of the past. The care and respect that went into creating this title showed just how committed AEW was to excellence so early on in its existence. It's just a bit of a shame that Bret held it up to the wrong camera when he first showed it off. Nothing a few more months in developmental wouldn't fix, eh? Number 3, the Winged Eagle. Since it was first won by Buddy Rogers, the WWE Championship has been through many different names and title designs. You are probably going to be nostalgic for whichever version was around when you were growing up. Unless it was that weird, horrible green thing that the Iron Sheik had. Nobody misses that. But objectively, I think we can all agree that the best version of the title is the iconic winged eagle design that was in use from 1988 to 1998. First introduced by Hulk Hogan, this beautiful design is everything a world title should be. And by that, we mean it's really shiny. Look how shiny it is. If you want more than just one word, shiny, on why this belt is so good, then let's talk about its most famous feature. The soaring golden eagle in the center is magnificent, from the way it straddles the globe on its back to the way its wings burst out of the top of the design. This mighty bird embodies everything that a wrestling champion should be. Larger than life, a little bit arrogant, but absolutely resplendent. Number 2, the IWGP Heavyweight title from 2008 to 2021. A golden title for one of New Japan's true golden eras, the design of the IWGP Heavyweight title between 2008 and 2021 was fitting for a company that seemingly went from strength to strength and did everything to maintain the integrity of its top prize. Unveiled at a press conference and handed to then-champion Shinsuke Nakamura during a pre-match ceremony, this fourth design of a title first introduced in 1987 was said to begin a new history in New Japan by the company's president. Secured on black leather, the predominantly gold and silver design had some lovely detailing, but one of the most striking features of the belt was contained within the side plates. On them were small nameplates featuring the names of every previous champion, so the current title holder was literally reminded of the important history of one of the most prestigious wrestling titles in the world. Speaking of, our dear planet also features prominently in the design, lauded over by New Japan's iconic lion logo. Why the promotion scrapped this gleaming waistband in favor of what looks a bit like a posh Divas title when it was unified with the IWGP Intercontinental title and became the IWGP World Heavyweight title in 2021, I will never know. Number 1, Big Gold. First designed by Charles Crumrine in 1985, the fabled Big Gold belt is a living, breathing part of professional wrestling's very soul. Originally awarded to NWA World Champion Ric Flair, the Big Gold belt has represented over half a dozen different titles over the years, including the WCW Championship, WWE's World Heavyweight Championship, and is of course the inspiration for the new version of WWE's World Heavyweight title too. There is a reason why this large shiny dinner plate kept getting brought back from the grave. Seriously, this thing is just glory personified. The size of it, the slick gold coloring, the intricate little flourishes on the main plate, the fact that it had a name bar when most other wrestling titles at the time didn't. The belt was a tribute to excess, the all-encompassing thrill of being the very best wrestler in the entire world. There is a reason it's so synonymous with Ric Flair, as the two shared the same philosophy of more is more. The Big Gold set the standard for all future World Championship designs, and even though it hasn't been used by a promotion since 2014, it still looms large in the memory of anyone lucky enough to catch a glimpse of it.